Hi folks, and welcome back to Fishing with Den. Today we're going to be doing a bit of waggler fishing, and I'm going to be doing it with one of these, which is of course a waggler. But if you watched last week's video, you'd have known that these are made from paper drinking straws. Now obviously paper, you're thinking, yeah, well that ain't going to last very long, is it? Well, they're actually quite robust, and I made them. And these have interchangeable tips as usual, so I can make them long or short or whatever. But as I said in that video, if you just wanted to have a basic sort of a waggler, you don't need to have to make them with interchangeable tips. Just literally plonk an ordinary tip in, glue it in place, and you're done. But anyway, I made a range of these. This one's 2.5 AA, and today we're going to give it a go. Now I've chosen a swim which I fished for the first time a week or two ago, trying to do something different with a float ledger, and didn't do all that great. But today I'm going to come down and try this. Now I've plumbed up, haven't put any bait in, haven't put any bait on. I've got probably, what's that? Oops. I've got probably 4 feet of depth, I would say. And I've got one number 6 down, and then 2 number 8 dropping further down from there. And obviously 2 AA shot around the float as the bulk. I've actually plumbed up, and I've got, as I say, 4 feet or so, and then it goes sort of off on a big shelf. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a single piece of corn on, and I'm just going to give it an underarm lob, and we're going to see how we go. Right, I'm fishing at probably a couple of rod lengths out, maybe 3, something like that, right in front of me, and I'm going to get a little bit of bait in first of all. I've got this ground bait, as I said, so I'll use some of that. I'll just take the lid off. Usual sort of stuff. Bit of breadcrumb, some turmeric, and some ground up pellets. And you'll also notice that I've got this up today, oops, which is starting to move a little bit. Just tighten him up. There we go. Last time I came down here, it was so hot that I started to melt, so made myself a little sunshade, if you like, out of an umbrella from the local store. Obviously not a fishing umbrella, just a small one, just enough to keep the sun off. I'm going to probably put 3 balls of ground bait in, and a few pellets, probably get those in underarm. Yeah, not too bad. And a little bit of corn, and in a second I'll set up the zoom camera so you can see what the float's doing. But I have to admit, it's a lot cooler today under this umbrella than it was last time I fished here. It's still about 30 odd degrees at the moment, and we're still into the morning session, so I don't know how hot it's going to get today, but they're reckoning about 35. So bear with me a second while I get my camera sorted out for there, and we'll see if we can catch a few. Oh, yay, first bite. Second chuck, first bite. Not big. In fact, it's pretty small. In fact, I'm gonna land it because it's caught round the back of its dorsal fin. There we go. Got to be careful of that camera down there as well, and this umbrella arm behind me. But good start. It's probably only, I don't know, 6 ounces or so. I don't know, maybe something like that. But that's a nice fish. Oh, this one's a bit bigger. Not much, but a little bit. Probably another ounce or 2. Not really got much idea what's in here at the moment, because when we had those floods a couple of months ago, this place was literally underwater above my head, and obviously everywhere else got soaked as well. And so any fish that were in here probably got transposed back into the river or whatever. I don't know, maybe 12 ounces, maybe a pound. Good start. So anyway, we'll see what this brings, but looking good so far. I think I might have just had a little knock just then. And yeah, oh, can't argue with this float so far. This is one a chuck, and the bites are coming pretty thick and fast. Again, caught around his dorsal fin. For any of you that don't know, the carp over here, whoops, they're a different strain to the UK, and they have a serrated dorsal fin which catches on everything, including keep nets, which is a bit of a pain. You've got to remember, this is a natural venue, never gets fished, never sees bait. I used to bring my dog down here 2 or 3 times a week, and I've never seen anybody fishing it other than me, and I haven't been here for about a year until a week or 2 ago. So as I say, the fish don't know what bait is. It's not like a commercial where they're all going to start rising up in the water. Tend to find fish over here, I think that might be a lift. Fish over here tend to stay on the bottom or maybe on the surface, but in between it doesn't seem quite so much. I think that's a bit of a I think that's got to be one, hasn't it? I don't know if they're going to get any bigger, but I mean, if you think about it, if I'm putting a pound in the net every couple of minutes or so, that's soon going to build a good weight over a match. Not that this place has ever fished for matches, as I say, only me ever fishes it really. And then one of the other boys from Sydney comes along and has a go, but I haven't seen anybody here for so long now. Just a single piece of corn on a 14 hook. No rocket science over here. There used to be a lot of very big mullet in here prior to the floods, but I don't know if they're still here, because, as I say, the floods may well have washed them all away. But I don't care, because I'm catching well. And I'm comfortable today under the brolly. They're getting smaller. I think he's probably just about liftable on the edge. Let's give it a go, see what happens. There we are. Oh, keep still, fish. Alright, he's actually swallowed it. Beautiful little fish though, aren't they? Oh. They're all about the same size, aren't they? Must have had a good breeding season after the floods. Oops. Same old thing, same size, everything. Oof. That was so quick, it took me by surprise. Righty hi. I'm trying these beans. They're actually called cannellini beans. First time I've ever tried them. By the sound of it, they're obviously Italian. And they're bigger than the sweet corn. So that's obviously why I'm getting bigger fish. Must try those in a bit more of a professional way at some point, because today is just a bit of a dabble around with these floats. But hey, if it catches me bigger fish, works for me. Oh, nearly struck. Starting to think I might need a bit more float showing at this rate. We're getting liners. That looks like a lift, and yeah, there we go. Got reeds either side of me, as you can probably make out. Not quite so big this time. Shortened my landing net handle down a little bit as well. But yeah, this old umbrella, just in the local DIY store, it's working great as a sunshade. It's not too big. I mean, I've got a normal fishing umbrella, but trying to cast with one of those things is a bit of a pain, so I thought I'd try and make this one. And so far, oops, can't quite get my hands around that. Oh, I can, we're okay. And the hooks fell out. Look at that, eh? Aren't they beautiful? I'm fishing at 7 turns out. I've actually got it clipped up so I can get it in the viewfinder of the zoom camera there. I'm coming back to 5 turns because I'm doing 2 turns to sink the line. And what's that, 5 turns, just under 5 meters plus the rod. Let's call it 8 meters out. That's not bad, is it? Of course I could do it with a pole, but that wasn't the point, was it? Today was to sit here and use this paper drinking straw float. And I have to admit, I had my reservations about whether it would work, but so far, yeah, can't complain. I wouldn't be surprised if this carried on for an hour or so and then started to taper off. I mean, I'm pretty much going at it here, so yeah, we'll see how we go. I might just go a bit further out, or I might try over to the right there. Well, that's quite high in the air, and it must have been a liner. What on earth? Got a loony one. They're all Ferrari carp, these ones, as one of my viewers once pointed out, about small carp being Ferraris. Sometimes they can be. Back to the small carp again, even though I'm using big baits. I've actually got, you can't see it, but there's a number 8 shot just where my finger is there, and it's about 3 inches from the hook. So all these lift bites are to do with that. As soon as the fish picks up the bait, float rises, and I know I'm in for a possibility. Of course, sometimes it could also just be a liner. But this is good fun, isn't it? And coffee to boot. I think I'll just keep using a bit of ground bait actually, just to keep things moving, but also to keep them down on the bottom a bit. Squeezing it fairly hard just to make sure it gets down to the bottom before it breaks up. Blew that dead, but I don't think it made much difference. There's plenty of fish milling around, so I don't have to be totally accurate today. That's better. This is just like Bill Allen used to do. Easy fishing. Shame about Bill. Got taken from us far too soon. If you haven't come across his YouTube channel, it's called Easy Fishing with Bill Allen. And he goes through, as he said, really easy stuff, little basic things. He even catches tiddlers, he uses a whip. He also catches some decent sized fish, but what a gentleman he was. Shame to see you go, Bill. Seems that even the smaller ones now are taking these cannellini beans, so we're going to try something else in a minute. And here it is, we're going to try a butter bean. Still on a 14 hook, completely the wrong sort of thing to be doing, but oh well, we'll see. I honestly, I've never tried either of these two before. I don't know if they stay, well, the cannellini bean seems to stay on the hook. The butter bean, we don't know so much. I've got to tangle around a rod tip now. There we go. The butterbean, I don't know, let's try it. Feels a bit more sort of breakable actually than the cannellini bean, but we'll give it a go. Yeah, not getting any kind of twitch at all. Maybe because I pulled it in too far. It may also be because I haven't got any bean on the hook, so maybe butter beans need a different way of mounting. But we'll do a video I think on different types of beans at some point, because all I had left there was a bit of shell. I'm going to go back to a bit of sweet corn, because I know they stay on the hook okay. Got a bit of a crosswind now from left to right, and any time now we could end up with a bit of a tow going on, and when it tows here it really goes through. It's like a current. Yeah. Oh, that's a bigger fish. Slightly. Maybe it doesn't really matter what size bait you got on. As I said earlier on, sometimes you catch all the tiddlers to start with, and then the bigger ones tend to show up a little bit. Just in case you're wondering how I'm managing to get them in this easily, I'm on 6-pound Guru drag line for the main line, which is 0.25 in diameter, and I think I've got an 0.22, whoops, 0.22, where's he gone? 0.22 matrix, I think it's sinking mono on it to the 14 hook, so I can afford to be a little bit powerful. Caught that one in the side of its eye. But yeah, nothing bigger than about 2 pounds so far, though, is there? Want a chuck in there? I think I've had a bite or a fish every cast so far, apart from the very first one. £1.5. Well, I don't know whether to strike or not, if I'm honest. No, I don't think so. It's definitely moving slightly, but no, you see, and then it did. It's good fun though, isn't it? Let's face it. It used to be that the average sort of size in here was a lot bigger than this, but as I say, we had the floods and obviously everything's changed. Whoops. I'm glad I shortened the landing net handle down a bit, because it's making it easier to control everything now. Oh, that's probably one of the biggest ones I've had, maybe 3 pounds. I've actually got a good weight in the net already if I was match fishing. Of course I haven't got a net with me, because that's just too much lugging down that hill there with my new seat box and its wheels. Not so much coming down, it's the going back that's the problem. Ground bait seems to be helping as well. I think I'll put another ball of that in a sec. Missed it. That's what you get for not concentrating, Dan. But we're here for a pleasure day. not for a match. And I'm certainly enjoying this. Trying to get used to this umbrella with the throwing different bits of bait, and I can't do it with my right hand really, because as I swing back I hit this post. I'm getting bites. Oh wow. This is the smallest one of the day, I do believe, but absolutely perfect condition, and it bodes well for the future, doesn't it? Wind's coming towards me and across at the moment, getting stronger, but this float's casting really well, just like you'd expect from a manufactured float, so pretty happy so far. Oops. Oh, it's a somewhat better fish. Get out of those weeds, kind of strandy weed things. Come on, keep catching the umbrella because I've moved it. Have to get used to this umbrella, won't I? But it certainly made a difference to the heat of the day. There we are. Well, that'll do nicely. I'm probably an hour and a half to 2 hours in now, and I've caught loads of fish. I haven't shown you all of them, obviously. You'd get totally bored with that, but I've shown you the salient points, and this float is a winner. Works for me. So, who knew, as they say, paper drinking straw floats are really good. Anyway, that's it guys. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, if you did, click the like button. If you want to subscribe, feel free. And if you want to contribute by donating, that's always much appreciated too. And just a quick word, had one from a guy called, a donation that is, from a guy called Ken Fish. Yep, really, as he said. And thank you very much, Ken, for doing that. Anyway, that's it guys. I'll see you next time.